Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Thursday, September 22nd, 2016. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. The Nevis Island Administration held its 10th annual consultation on the economy today under the theme A Revitalization of Skills Development and Entrepreneurship. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Colin Doe, gave the overview during this morning's opening ceremony.
Entrepreneurship is the key to the success of our economy in Nevis. This annual exercise continues to be an important part of our budget preparation process. If we hold fast to the view that the private sector is a real engine of growth in any economy, then the role of government is merely to facilitate growth by providing a stimulating environment and infrastructure to facilitate this process, then it is absolutely necessary for us to build a partnership with you, the private sector, in order to achieve these objectives.
Today's event was held under the auspices of Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Vance Amory.
The theme for this consultation, and I quote, a revitalization of skills development and entrepreneurship, is very appropriate and timely as we confront the difficult social problems of crime and violence among our young people. However, I am confident that together we can develop the appropriate mix of policies, such as policy for financing, skills training, the psychosocial interventions, which we think is important, and entrepreneurship support to empower young people and our young adults, and perhaps those who are older who need a new opportunity in life. I feel it is important that we take these things seriously.
Featured speaker, former executive chairman of TDC, Michael Morton, spoke on the role of the private sector. The all-day consultation also featured presentations on correspondent banking relationship by Angela Rouse of the ECCB and skills development by Euphemia Bryce Roberts of Bryce Roberts Business Consulting Services. Denrick Liebert of the Bank of Nevis Limited, Hyacinth Pemberton of the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, McLevin Truss of A1 Office Technology Limited, Leon Lescott of the Finnish Touch Company Limited, and Mervyn Hanley of THG Network were the panelists featured in a discussion with private sector partners. The NIA's annual consultation on the economy has as its mission to take the leadership role in promoting and maintaining financial and economic stability through the development and implementation of sustainable economic growth and development for the people of Nevis. Dialysis will be one of the services offered to patients with kidney-related illnesses when the $15 million Alexandra Hospital expansion project is complete, so knows Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Vance Amory.
I think we've had really so much discussion about the provision of dialysis and so on, and I think we need to provide adequate or place which is dedicated to that, and I trust that we don't have any more unnecessary political discussion about dialysis and the provision of dialysis, because I said I think we are all aware of the challenges which attend the provision of a dialysis service. It is not as easy as some people will believe, and but personally, I really get tired of useless debate. Useless debate doesn't help; it just creates tension. But we are definitely in the expansion or the extension of the hospital. We'll be making provisions for that, even as we begin to look at providing additional equipment.
Premier Amory gave an update on the project during a recent meeting with the executive of the Nevis Division of the St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce.
Already we have sought to get some nurses trained to provide the service. But we don't want to go off half-cock on this matter, because something goes wrong, then it's another matter altogether. And I prefer to utilize the service in St. Kitts. We pay for the clients who go to St. Kitts to be dialyzed. We'll continue to do that until we are able to provide our own service here in Nevis in a proper facility.
Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Vance Amory. The Nevis National Citizens and Friends Society have awarded Raoul Archibald for his work in the upkeep of Charlestown. The ceremony took place on Monday, September 19th. Treasurer Ray Brantley read a profile of the awardee.
Raoul loved his job, a motivation and dedication engendered by the comments of exaltation, admiration, appreciation, and several other laudable comments and greetings from nationals, residents, and visitors. Applauding the clean and tidy state of the city, which is the light of the Zika affliction, is of great benefit to all. The Nevis National Citizen Friends Society says sincere thank you, Raoul, and gladly and proudly present you this Good Citizen Award.
Presenting the award to Archibald was area representative for the St. James's Parish, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers.
We all know during Culture Armor, for example, what the town is like. Sometimes after Juve or after an evening activity, you leave town, and by the next morning you get back to town and you see a clean Charlestown, and you wonder where all of this trash and garbage have gone. And Raoul, working and toiling through the night, would have made sure that we go back to town the next day and meet a clean environment. And I just want to say how appreciative we are of that, Raoul, not only from the society standpoint, but from the Nevis Island administration standpoint. We certainly appreciate the work that you have done over the years. And indeed, it is not easy work.
Archibald was also awarded a monetary donation, and he expresses thanks to the society. The Nevis National Citizens and Friends Society is a registered society with the Nevis Island Administration. The organization provides, among other things, a financial good conduct award to primary school students, financial support to the Youth Academy, and limited financial medical assistance. Still to come.
So come church on an empty stomach, and I promise you will fill it both spiritually as well as in terms of food and nutrition.
We'll give you the details after this break.
As a responsible taxpayer, you help to finance free health care at all health centers on Nevis. Thank you for putting country above self. This message was brought to you by the Inland Revenue Department, Nevis. Be a responsible citizen.
Welcome back. An early morning search operation on Tuesday, September 20th at Her Majesty's Prison on St. Kitts and a simultaneous search at the prison farm on Nevis signaled the start of Operation Safe Streets. Operation Safe Streets is a police-led law enforcement operation with the objective of removing illegal firearms, ammunition, illegal drugs, and instruments that can be used to commit crimes from our communities. A number of contraband items, including cell phones, SIM cards, cash, homemade shanks, and other illegal items were discovered in the search at the prison facilities. Superintendent of Prisons, Junie Hodges, said this find shows that the prison security officers must always be vigilant and these breaches will be addressed. When compared to the items found in the last search, there is a significant reduction, but one piece of contraband is one piece too many, added the superintendent. Hodge also warned members of the public visiting inmates that the introduction of contraband into the prison is a crime, and if caught, they will be prosecuted. Operation Safe Streets is a combined law enforcement operation led by the Royal St. Christopher and the Nevis Police Force, with support from law enforcement partners, the St. Kitts and Nevis Defense Force, Her Majesty's Customs and Excise Department, Her Majesty's Prison, and the Regional Security System. A number of teachers on Nevis recently benefited from training on managing behavioral and learning difficulties. Facilitating the September 13th to 15th workshop were Dr. Adam Dreyfus, Director of the Sarah Dooley Center for Autism in Virginia, USA, and Dr. Ted Hoke of the George Mason University, also in Virginia.
I'm a psychologist and a behavior analyst. I'm on the faculty of the Division of Special Education at George Mason. And I'm very fortunate to be here to work with the teachers for the last 3 days. But what we're talking about really is teachers being actually strategic scientists, teachers being able to look at a situation, figure out what's going on, whether it's problem behavior, whether it's learning difficulty, whether it's students learning well. Figure out what's happening before the performance they need, whether they have the performance they need, what happens after. Rearranging those things so we can get students to do more of what they need to do. And this is something that's not only good for handling behavioral difficulties, it's tremendous for teaching children things they need to know.
Receiving the training were teachers from the learning support departments of the island's secondary schools, as well as primary school teachers and guidance counselors.
The teachers here are wonderful. They're wonderful. They're great students for me. They care greatly for their students. They're very interested in their craft, in what they do as teachers, and they're always looking for ways to help their students better. So I've been very fortunate to talk with these ladies and gentlemen this week about how, by examining their practices and as much as I can, making sure that when the right behavior happens, when the right answer happens, the right things happen, the great things happen, that they can move their students forward faster, regardless of the students' incoming skills.
The training was a collaboration between the Department of Education and the Basic Needs Trust Fund.
The project came up as part of the BNTF Step Up for Life Literacy Intervention. That culminated with an activity that the department was planning, and so we decided to join the two together and make one training session for our teachers. We have brought in the persons who are working with this Step Up program. That would be the high school teachers of A3 and A4, and because we have already planned the training for our teachers in the teaching children with special needs, with all our children, because we all have varying abilities in our classrooms. And so we thought it is important that our teachers get some help in dealing with those behavioral problems, get some tips and some tools and some strategies how to deal with the behaviors that they encounter in their classroom so that they can get on with the business of learning.
Drs. Dreyfus and Hogue facilitated similar sessions with the island's teachers 2 years ago. In observance of Caribbean Wellness Day, the St. Paul's Anglican Church will be hosting Health and Wellness Sunday on September 25th. Father Christopher Archibald told us about this Sunday's event.
We want to encourage persons to share with us, come out at the church at 7 a.m. We're going to start with health screening, and so persons who are coming, they're advised not to eat anything from about midnight on Saturday. So come church on an empty stomach, and I promise you will feel it both spiritually as well as in terms of food and nutrition.
He also outlined what would be taking place on Health and Wellness Sunday.
We're going to start off with pressure testing and diabetes screening, and then about 7:30ish we want to go for a short walk up to the Charlestown Primary School. Following that short walk, then we come back to the church for a very light but healthy breakfast. And then after that, we're going to have a short service. Our focus will still be on health, and so during that service, we're going to have a presentation by someone from the Ministry of Health. So we want to invite the whole community to come out, recognizing our responsibility, not only in terms of the spiritual, but also in terms of the physical. It's a holistic approach to salvation. And so as a church, we must respond to Jesus' example and seek to bring healing and empowerment both spiritually as well as physically.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and a member of the St. Paul's Anglican Church, Nicole Slack-Liburd, is encouraging persons to take part in the event.
So it's our responsibility as persons in St. Kitts and Nevis to make our society more friendly to our children in terms of the diet that they're provided with, and also in promoting physical exercise, physical activity, and providing knowledge to prevent the increase in incidence of non-communicable diseases. So I'm here today wearing two hats as not only a member of St. Paul's Anglican Church, but also from the Ministry of Health, as we work together this Saturday to promote education about non-communicable diseases, physical exercise, and also early detection, so we will be doing blood pressure and blood sugar screenings. We encourage everyone to come on out and support this important activity.
Caribbean Wellness Day is celebrated annually on the second Saturday in September. The theme for Caribbean Wellness Day 2016 is Healthy Children in Healthy Environments. That's it for this evening's edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Good night.